You mentioned digital revenue for newspapers, for legacy print publications. Clearly the advertising for the print publications is diminishing. You talk about pennies on the dollar for digital advertising. Right. How do those models sustain themselves over the next several years?
I've never been one for like industry conventions or conferences. I just stick to my knitting. I want to meet people in Orange County. I don't need to meet people all over the country that do what I do. There was a bunch of companies that went digital, but you're not them. And you can't become them. You don't offer what Facebook and Amazon and Google offer. They're disruptors, but you're not going to become them just because you compete with them. You compete with them with your hands tied behind your back. It's not a level playing field competing with those guys. And so you're going to get pennies. You're going to get scraps. That's what's happened. That's why there's no money for journalism, and that's why daily newspapers are dying. And that's why I see the only possible road out is philanthropic money.
Current landscape of media in Orange County today, the LA Times has gone through some changes, right? There have been a few layoffs over the last 12 months.
There's been a lot of layoffs.
Been a lot of layoffs, yeah. And other papers as well, sort of diminishing advertising revenue for some newspapers as well locally. Orange County Register went through a bankruptcy. As a person who grew up in Orange County and has worked in media, where do you currently see the media landscape?
Orange County media is a desert. I mean, desert has more vibrancy and ecology than what's happening in Orange County media. It's very unfortunate. You have the Register, which is a shell of itself. You have the Voice of OC, which is great, but its audience is always going to be limited to wonks, really. You have a lot of stuff online, like just social media posts, social media accounts, but those people are always going to be telling their story and not anything else. No one's really trying to connect all of Orange County. That is severely missing. Even the Voice of OC, they don't cover all of Orange County. The Register can barely cover all of Orange County. There is no, as Orange County, we're 33 cities, we're 3.2 million people. What connects us as a region, as a people? That was a question that OC Weekly always not only answered, but was always questioning people about. So we're in a very dire straits, and I just don't see it improving at all. Los Angeles media does not care much about Orange County. National media only comes to treat us as a freak show. So who are going to be the people? Well, OC World, that's another one, but that's only once a week in a limited capacity. We need more. The more, the merrier.
We talked earlier, and you seem to have a really positive outlook on the near future for media in Orange County. How does one such as yourself with your background and experience sort of envision where we will be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
I think people like yourself, Scott, and others are going to solve the riddle on how we best connect as a community. Again, we're not Los Angeles. We don't desire to be San Diego. We are Orange County. And it is it sounds a little sort of Hallmark cardish, but we are very much of a melting pot, and we're growing more comfortable with that all the time. And I hope that we take the best of what we are today and find the folks that want to put a spotlight on that and tell stories, and tell real stories, local stories, true stories, stories that have both joy and stories that are difficult. But that's who we are as a mature community. We're not a suburban community anymore. We are a standalone 45th largest economy in the world by several standards, all right? This is a market that deserves good and great media.
A 2022 report by Northwestern University School of Journalism found what it called signs of hope for communities with limited or diminishing local news and feature coverage, the nonprofit media model. I don't know if there's an example of this across the country. Maybe there is. That a local, two local, you're a TV station, we're a production company that broadcasts on PBS, right? But we're collaborating now on a story about a gentleman who came from Saigon to Orange County and sort of his sponsorship in Arizona, and we're going to broadcast this on both our channels, if you will. I'm assuming that because a lot of it's in Vietnamese, we're going to broadcast it both in Vietnamese and English, or both, however that works. How do you feel about the idea of working together on a collaborative program like the one we're currently doing?
I always, it's one of my dreams to do it. Because I always think that being a small media like us, we don't have enough resources. I think it's very important because together we can work more efficient and serve the community and the public better in a way.
Yeah, I agree on that. And I know that, Ty's here, behind the camera over here, and he traveled out to Arizona with your brother, John, and they did a co-production out there. And we found that it's really interesting because we're working with your group that we've never worked with before. We're assuming that, we're reaching different markets that we haven't reached before, and perhaps vice versa for yourself, right? Through OC World. And we see a lot of value in creating those sorts of collaborations.